something.
He always gets here before us.
Maybe he's faking it.
What?
Maybe he's pretending to sleep when he's actually sleeping.
I don't understand.
Maybe he's dead.
I don't think so.
Look.
Yes?
See?
What?
Nothing.
I wouldn't wake him up.
No, me neither.
We could lose our turn.
Yes.
Men are more tragic when they're asleep.
And more adventurous.
Whenever I lose my turn, my mouth gets pasty. As if I took a bite out of a living monkey. My mouth gets pasty as if I ate a monkey in his shell. And then the sky turns gray, like a police uniform, and my brain liquefies, like soup. It liquefies. Here, look, right here. Do you see how
Okay. Don't get upset now. We'll be able to sleep. It's just a matter of time.
Sometimes I've been tempted to touch the sleeping man's cheek with my hand, just for the simple pleasure of stroking a sleeping person.
My father is taking a nap.
What?
My father. I can see him quite clearly in the shade of a huge tree with a peacock by his side and a trickle of drool in his mouth. There was no violence because my father was young and he was sleeping.
Time goes by faster when you sleep.
I was a girl and my father was young.
Sometimes I dream of electric fans.
My father, always still as a stone. Does he move? Yes, like a stone dragged along by the night winds. Anyway, the night winds are also a presumption.
Do you have a handkerchief?
No, why?
Nothing. Do you hate your father?
No, I was just remembering him. Okay.
Let's play.
Everything is perfect. The light that shines through the window where airplanes land and take off into a blue sky barely challenged by a few clouds. Do you hear me? I said, everything is perfect. Trees far away and people carrying perfect suitcases, their hair slightly messed up by an invisible music that travels through the air conditioner. An air that was invented to make everything perfect as air. Air. Do you know what I mean? Huh? Yes? I was saying, everything is perfect. People look good, carefree, birds fly where they should. They cross the field of vision at the exact angle they should, and people cry out exactly what they should.
Oh, they're birds! Oh, they're birds? They're birds!
And so on. Everything is perfect. Only I am out of place. But since I'm invisible, everything is perfect. Do you hear me? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm a foreigner and you're carved in the air. The air.
Did you say something?
No.
I thought you said
You thought
something.
wrong.
Take it easy.
You thought wrong, that's all.
Yes, I know, but calm down.
You thought wrong and I have to calm down.
I thought you muttered something, and I don't like people who mutter things. Besides, my nose is bleeding.
Do you want some tea?
No.
Do you want my scarf?
No.
What do you want then?
I want those dogs barking in the distance to shut up.
Don't look, okay? let me introduce myself. I am the dog of the famous Spanish filmmaker Don Luis Buñuel. I am Buñuelo, also known as the Andalusian dog. A woof, also known as the poet dog. A woof, a woofy woof, a woof, also known as the gossipy dog. Woof, 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 penis. By a strange series of events, I ended up under the care of Miss Miranda. I can complain. No. I eat well, and I masturbate 3 or 4 times a day. Miss Miranda tells me, "You're disgusting, Buñuelo." But what can I do? I am pure instinct. I see life in black and white, like a Luis Buñuel movie. And sometimes I give a title to what I see. For example, The Treacherous Fall of Mr. Perez. Treacherous Fall of Mr. Perez. Go. Based on how Mr. Perez, while staring at the boobs of his neighbor, Mrs. Beatriz, thank you, ran into a glass door. The transparent barrier between her boobs and his desire. For glass boobs, sheer desire, just to be clear. No, I get it. Or the girl leaves because it's cold. The girl leaves because it's cold. Leaves. Did I tell you about that one? Well, if I already did, bear with me. I'll tell you again. I was, as usual, smelling my dick. Yes. And about to faint. The street seemed like a trembling noodle, and people seemed drunk by the suffocating sun, which in turn seemed like a gold spit in the June sky. Everything seemed because nothing was real.
What do you think you're doing, child?
Nothing. I was just playing.
But don't you know that playing is forbidden here? Don't you know that? Don't you know it? Of course you do, but of course the child. What were you playing? Don't you realize that playing alone is bad? Or do you think that just because you're alone, God doesn't see you? God sees everything, young lady. Don't you realize that God is an eye? God is an eye and sees
when God took a razor blade and slit his own eye.
I'm feeling sick. This white ship moves through the fog and I'm cold. And I finally understand how dark-skinned people like me turn pale when they walk in the fog. It's the cold that steals the last rays of sun from our faces and makes us pale. Because the cold is the soul. Do you understand? Cold is the soul.
What did you say?
When?
Just now, what did you say?
Nothing.
What time is it?
It's 2 in the morning. Maybe.
Ask me something.
When?
Now.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay. Do you have a boyfriend?
Once I had a boyfriend who kissed me and my lip rotted.
Really?
Yes, but what's worse is that he put his hands on my knees and left me paralyzed.
No.
Another one tried to hug me and broke 3 of my ribs.
That's called lack of calcium.
Maybe. And because of this accident, my smile fell off and was hit by a taxi.
Poor thing.
I had a boyfriend who would fade away.
Was he of poor quality?
No, he was a boyfriend from bygone days. He would cross the street to come to me. Sometimes it seems to me that people's voices travel through the air.
Very interesting.
And what?
Your boyfriend.
See?
What?
Even now, he fades away if I get distracted.
You're going to drive me crazy.
It's just that he was a boyfriend from bygone days. Every time I got distracted, he faded away. One day, I got completely distracted, and he completely faded out. Now I realize that the words people say travel through the air in different directions.
It's true. Things don't always travel in the direction you want them to travel.
My last boyfriend would disappear in the rain. He would say, "Will you marry me?" And poof, it started to downpour. He will say, "I'll be yours forever." And a deafening thunder would strike, and hell will fall up to our necks. One day, he was resolute to move in with me, but it rained so hard that it blew all the fuses in my house. We were in the dark, and the weather forecast kept saying that it wouldn't stop raining until late November.
Not all storms end up as love stories.
Child, come here. I'm going to teach you something that you'll never forget.
To forget?
Don't be silly, child. Don't be silly.
Yes, Mother. But I can't help it.
Can't help what?
Crying in every room of the house.
I'd like to understand you, but I can't.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Listen to what I'm going to teach you, darling. Have I ever called you darling before?
No.
Well, it's all the same. I was saying that in plain sight, you seem intelligent.
Thank you, Mother.
But it's just in plain sight, which is a plain way to see things. I'm going to teach you not to lose your ass. And mostly, not to lose your ass for men. Because a woman loses many things in life. But when you lose your ass, your body becomes lighter. Not only because your ass is heavy, but because virtue is heavy, and it usually lies in that place where you are most likely to be caressed or kicked. What are the people of our small community doing at this hour? They sleep in solid houses with the peace of mind of he who knows that outside is his car, his dog, his lover, and inside is his wife, his children, his yogurt, his coffee, his good night, sweetie, his good morning, love. He knows all this. What he doesn't know is that he's lost his ass all day to have his half hour of cable TV. He has lost his ass entirely with the absolute certainty of those who will never be hungry, those who live without fear, but without an ass. They think they sleep in proper beds, but they actually sleep outdoors with others, back to back, because they don't have asses. Like an army whose only strategy is to sell their ass for a mouthful of food. I lost my ass for a man, but I found it 3 blocks away in the same corner where he said, my love. I detest you, my love. And you, my beloved daughter, you were kicking my belly from the inside. Have I ever called you my beloved before?
No.
Well, it's all the same. All the same. The same. What are you doing?
Touching my ass?
Is it there?
I think so.
I remember having a boyfriend with a cross-eye ass.
I doubt there's an eye doctor for that.
No.
Sometimes I wish I could remember.
Asses!
No. Just remember.
Well, it's just a matter of resting your face in your right hand, the elbow on the table on its 4 legs, the legs on the tile floor, or on the ground, or in the air. That's the whole architecture of memory. Just a way of resting your face in your right hand. I know now is not a good time to tell you, but I'll tell you anyway because you're listening from wherever you are. You used to say that tyrants do what they do because they only go to jail when they're too old and it's too late. We waited for a bed, remember? Do you remember where we were? I never told you what I had to tell you, and that is why I feel there's something stuck inside me because I didn't meet you when I had to. I've decided that I'm not going to tell you anything. Anyway, what's stuck inside me doesn't hurt like it used to.
Miss Miranda, come here right now. Sit down. Fix your skirt. The skirt. Your uniform skirt, child. Does the word buñuel mean anything to you? Because buñuel doesn't mean anything to me, and words always mean something to me. For example, to me, Japan means a country full of Japanese. But is buñuel a country? The skirt! It's as if your legs hang from a bridge. Do you shave your legs? Do you want to know the truth? You terrify me, child. You infuriate me. But of course, child. Buñuel. How old are you? 15, 16 years old? Someone here doesn't exist. It's us, young ladies. Us. I don't have much information, but I'm certain that if someone here doesn't exist, it's us. The skirt, Miss Miranda, the skirt. You think that I'm a coward? That I can't stop your buñuelian activities? Please. I've had enough of you and your classmate, Simon of the Desert. There was never ejaculation. Never. What trickled down the pillar was melted wax from the burning candle. Do you understand? You must understand, because when you... Do not shave your legs. The hair will grow thicker. Never again, buñuel. Do you understand? Never again.
Mother Superior?
Yes?
If I die today, will I go to heaven?
I think... No. No.
It's heaven in black and white?
How dare you think such a thing! Heaven is in color, young lady!
Then it's not a buñuelian heaven.
Enough! Enough! On your knees! On your knees!
Then, Miranda took the razor blade she used to shave her legs and slash. She slit her own eye. Viridiana couldn't help her because she was too busy praying.
That people feel lonely, but not all the time, only by the minute and in certain positions.
You say that because of me?
Of course not.
Yes, you say that because of me.
No, I swear I don't look.
It's my bag.
A man walks into
It's
a
a
bar.
fatty mask. It's not
He
a
orders
lump.
a drink.
This lump you
While
see
the
here is a
bartender
fatty
pours
mask.
in the drink,
It's
the
not
man
a
is in
lump,
a
it's a
miserable
fatty mask.
position.
The next
He's
one
lonely.
else and gives the impression of decrepitude.
The next door
That's all.
neighbor,
What?
the woman who lives next door, has garbage bags instead of hands. At night, she tries to leave them in the trash can, and when she bends down, she feels lonely.
Certain positions should be avoided.
Then she can't stand up straight again. And though she tries, she can't. Her solitude won't let her.
It's because solitude is a bitch, and it takes advantage of women when they bend down.
And when they stand up straight, too. A man hits a woman, gently. Then he hits the table, then he hits the door, then he bangs the head full of mean thoughts against the wall. The head breaks open, and 3 screeching parrots fly to the gloomy north.
Is that a riddle?
No. It's the story of my first marriage.
Dear, don't get in that position, not like that. Lower, much lower, not so low. Why are you doing this to me? I'm not a violent person.
Do you think I'm an umbrella? That you can use me as if I were an umbrella?
I just need your shoulder. Is that too much to ask?
First my hand, now my shoulder. What will you want from me tomorrow?
Don't you realize that I need your help? Give me a cigarette. No, don't. I can't smoke. I shouldn't smoke. I don't want to smoke. No smoking, no.
Can we rest?
Whose idea was it to use plaster? I mean, who invented plaster?
Can we die?
It's a tombstone. Nobody says it is, but we all know it's a tombstone. Let me rest my hand. Yes.
What?
My hand. Rest it on you.
What is a tombstone?
Last time I rested my hand on you was in August. No, well, it was last year.
On the old prices for washers and vacuum cleaners. Don't miss out at now.
Why the radio, huh? Who the hell do they think they are to make so much noise? Huh? Can't believe it.
May we rest now?
You may cry your lungs out. I'm not buying your shit. Your washer is a piece of crap. Do you understand? Crap!
What did you mean when you said...
Your vacuum cleaner. Their vacuum cleaner. Do you remember when we trusted them? Huh? I trusted them. And then I forced you into a fraudulent purchase. They did the worst thing you can do to a man, drag his family into a fraudulent purchase. Forgive me, Catalina, my love. No more vacuum cleaners.
What did you mean when you said you rested my hand on you?
Why all these questions? You want to help me go down this fucking stairs? You don't need to ask so many questions. I'm a good person, am I not? I watch movies. I walk every now and then. I drive my car to town. Is that why you caused me so much trouble? Huh? We made plans. Remember, you and I? We had plans. Do you know what my neighbor told me the other day? He said, your wife is mysterious. Yes, I don't know if she's beautiful. I don't know if she's smart. But she is so mysterious. And I replied, you know, when stupidity is pervasive, it becomes a mystery. That's what I told him. It's funny. Catalina, change your position. Are you lacking for anything? I said I'm sorry a while ago, but you didn't answer me, huh? Why are you so fucking quiet? I'm not a complicated man. I mean, like when people say drunk father, for example. Talk to me. Break the silence. I have a broken leg. Can you see? Catalina! Catalina. Catalina. Catalina.
I'm here! By your side. But really, I'm not. You open your mouth so wide that I sometimes worry that your jaw will fall off. It's a shame I won't get to see your jaw fall off. From a distance, leaning on each other, poised to take a step. It may seem that we love each other, but it's only a position. A certain position. My nose is bleeding. Do you see? And my ears, do you see?
happens only once. Like this moment, I'm watching you travel in stillness. I always thought the end is unexpected. Not this way. Not this way. Tell me, how many times did you escape death in the past? How many armies, how many police had you on their list? I don't like it when I talk to you and you turn away from me as if your body were leaning into an abyss that I don't recognize. You helped me once. Remember.
What are you thinking about?
About the blood that's coming out of you?
I make you feel bad.
Insecure.
In our situation, we were always insecure.
That's true. Once, I planted a tree and it grew very tall. Suddenly, I wondered, could it be that I was shrinking? I feared I might turn into a dwarf, so I destroyed the tree. I felt insecure. When you feel constantly insecure, you have to give in or it can kill you.
Such is insecurity.
On summer nights, my mother would amuse herself putting beetles on their backs. The little creatures couldn't turn over and could only move its tiny legs in constant despair. After a while, she would return it to its normal position. Do you know why?
She felt insecure.
Exactly. She was afraid of turning into a beetle. She was also afraid of my father yelling.
Why are you suddenly silent?
My father wouldn't allow my mother to turn into a bug without his permission.
You hate your father.
No! I was just trying to remember him.
Dad? Do you hear me, Dad? I wish you would explain the logic of the wind and stop making excuses saying, I don't know what the logic of the wind is. No, Dad, I can't stand your excuses. I can't stand that you won't answer me. I can't stand that you are quiet when you're not here, that you won't talk when you're gone. What is the logic of the wind, you bastard? What is the logic of the wind? Stop, Catalina, enough. I don't know what the logic of the wind is. Yes, Dad, you told me once. The logic of the wind is screaming from the other side of the window when you least expect it. Uprooting palm trees and throwing them at people. Dragging people out and throwing them at other people. It's blowing off roofs and destroying gardens and frightening short-sighted girls. It's blowing off signs that say nothing. Lifting up fathers with signs that say nothing and blowing them far away where a man who's supposed to lie united hurricane in gentle breezes without fathers. Did I tell you this, Catalina? Yes, Dad. One morning, years ago, when I was a little girl and I wasn't afraid of hurricanes. The logic of the wind is not my logic. What is your logic, Dad?
perfect. The light that shines through the window where airplanes land and take off into a blue sky barely challenged by a few clouds. I'm waiting for a visa. I'm waiting for a job. I'm waiting. Partners, dialogues on waiting. Partner 1.
Hey, partner, what will history do with our corpses?
Partner 2.
Nothing, partner. Let them rot. That's what history will do with our corpses.
What?
A moment ago, the white ship made its way back through the fog. I'm standing in the exact same spot where 50 years ago stood other women like me. Women who came from the same place as I, feeling sick like me, wanting to throw up like me, holding our hands to our mouth. Because in the land of free men, women throwing up in the streets is unacceptable. Do you understand? Life is complicated, but after a little while, everything becomes clear. I'm sleepy.
Me too.
What if we fall asleep?
We would lose our turn.
I hate losing my turn.
The man sleeps.
A raspy sleep, as if 10 drunks were trying to sing a lullaby inside his throat.
Do you write?
Every now and then. And you?
Every then and now.
Miranda, let's be quiet, but let's not fall asleep, okay?
Okay.
Miranda? Let's not fall asleep, okay?
Good.
I'm bleeding again.
Are you?
Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No?
No. Miranda? It is good that you're here. Are you afraid of hurricanes?
No.
Good. I'm a broken woman, you know.
Don't worry. A broken woman isn't necessarily two women.
Did I tell you that my third husband treated me as if I were a king?
No, but I thought you were sleepy.
Oh, yes, I am.
Let's be quiet then.
But let's not fall asleep, okay?
Yes. Let's not fall asleep.
First like a cane, and then like a tablecloth.
When you have a country and a flag, you say, here's my country and my flag. I will plant myself here and my chest will swell with pride because I have a penny to my name. But if I don't have a country or a flag, or a chest swollen with pride or a penny to my name, I search for the warmth of another person and I plant myself in her and I let the grass grow and say, I don't have a country. So what? But I have a friend. And that's wonderful. That's what I wanted to tell you a while ago when I told you there was something stuck inside me. I feel better now. I don't know for how long.
Miranda. Do you ever return to the place where you were once punished?
No. Nobody wants to kill you!
Ready?
Almost.
Ladies and gentlemen, parents, students, Miss Miranda has prepared a beautiful scene entitled The Mother and the Yards. Strange title. We're all ears, young lady. Proceed.
My mother started running at an early age. She went to school, she went to college, but never made it. She went to church and got married. She ran to the grocery store. She ran to the bakery. She ran to the butcher shop and she cooked my father's dinner. She ran to bed and gave birth to all of us. I started running short distances, but crashed into the kitchen door, so I went for the obstacle course. Then I jumped out of bed and landed on my shoes. When I was 15, I jumped and landed in the arms of a young man. I jumped over loneliness and landed in the house of a friend who offered me an orange tea that infused my life for one night and gave me the strength to jump and run and jump again. My grandmother used to run the marathons of the 1940s. She ran from hunger. She ran from fascism. Some aunts used to say that she ran from my grandfather, who ran out of spite and threw himself under the wheels of a tram. Then my grandmother ran to church and got drank on songs. But that time, my mother was already running, and I was hopping behind her like a kangaroo. Yes, my father got fed up with my grandmother, and I. So he ran away, as is usual in a family like ours. Then we all ran away, like those night creatures who get startled by the light and the presence of humans. Night creatures, she would say. Be them fireflies, larks, and cockroaches. We're still running. Not as fast as we used to, but with the steadiness that comes from having run so much. What do women athletes do when they stop? They rest for 10 minutes. And if they move, it means they can get running. The curtain falls gently, and the eyes of the audience moisten the body of the athlete actresses.
Is it a play?
Yes.
Is it a play?
Yes.
Is it a play?
Yes.
It's a piece of shit, that's what it is! A piece of shit!
That too.
the competitiveness between animals of the same species results sooner rather than later in an impulse to bite two ponies, due to the fact that they are competing over the same food and territory and are motivated by the same wage. Crocodiles, for instance.
So I've spent part of my life among crocodiles.
You can tell crocodiles by their wrinkles.
I knew it. My grandmother was a crocodile.
Your grandmother.
Yes. She used to say that the only sad thing in life was growing old.
Did your grandmother ever talk about farewells?
No?
About photographs stained by humidity?
No?
About prisons?
No.
About why you are here, and I'm here waiting for this man to leave this bed. Did your grandmother ever talk about this?
No.
Then your grandmother was a crocodile.
Yes. She's astonishing, my grandmother. Isn't she? Days go by, nights go by. They go by barefoot, they go by car. My grandmother!
With the booger!
The what?
With the booger!
Days go by, racked in a row. The postman passes without a note. My grandmother!
With the booger! You set the table!
You set the bed.
Every
And
night!
every day.
My grandmother! With the booger!
My grandmother! With the booger!
How many moments in a life?
How many handkerchiefs and goodbyes?
Your grandmother!
Your grandmother!
Your grandmother!
Your grandmother!
My grandmother!
With the booger! The little song swims in the air, life passes by on the chair. My grandmother! With the booger! My grandmother dies in the stillness. She will be buried in 6 feet of light. Grandmother dies.
She died.
In the stillness. She will be buried in 6 feet of light. Grandmother dies.
My grandmother died.
In the stillness.
In the
She will be
stillness. She will be
buried in
buried
6 feet
in
of
6
my
feet of
grandmother
light.
dies. In the stillness, she will be buried in 6 feet of light. A little box, a little dirt. Granny, what are those two watery angels coming from your nose?
Buggers! They're called buggers! What were you saying
But what?
about your grandmother? What were you saying?
That she was a crocodile.
Really?
Yes, only she didn't cry crocodile tears.
No?
No, she had crocodile boogers.
Really?
Yes. What are you doing?
My hands.
What?
Hands. My hands, they hurt. What time is it?
Maybe 4 in the morning?
Hands. My hands, they hurt and they've aged. Don't look at me like that. My pain is not contagious. Unfortunately. The cold weather has changed my features. This new country has disfigured my face. I'm standing in the exact same corner where 50 years ago someone from my country set himself on fire because he was sad and he couldn't stand having lost paradise. He set himself on fire, but the heat isn't enough to make my face look as it used to.
tiny bankers.
Live ones?
Yes, until they hit the ground.
I'm bleeding again.
I wish I could bleed for you.
Impossible. My pain is not contagious. What shall we do?
With your blood?
No, with the foot.
In other places, it's less likely that it rains fever.
My ear.
It looks like a severed foot.
Poor foot without its body.
We should look for an umbrella in the shape of a shoe.
Yes. The problem is figuring out what size it is.
Don't touch it!
Why?
It might belong to the sleeping man.
How so?
Sometimes feet wake up earlier than the rest of the body and walk away.
What if it belongs to God?
Then it means God is falling apart.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard the expression, the hand of God? That is the same with his feet, his abdomen, his armpits. When I was young, my friends and I watched one of Buñuel's movies in the Catholic school where I studied. The hand of God grabbed us by the neck while his mouth yelled,
Never again, Buñuel. Never again, Buñuel.
Since then, I don't believe that heaven is heaven, but a transplant clinic.
What is that redness coming through the window?
It's the dawn.
I thought it was blood.
You're bleeding. You think that everything bleeds?
Not everything. But some things. The sunrise, for instance. Attention! Attention! Nurses on duty, anesthesiologists, physicians and heart patients, attention. A girl's body is big, big, immensely, immensely big. I know, because sometimes I try to look down at my feet, and I cannot see them. I know, because a girl's body is big, big, immensely, immensely, immensely big. It consists of 4 zones where there are 4 umbrellas and it never rains. I know because one time I saw my naked body and I panicked. I had drawn a map on my skin. Here, 5 cats scratched me. Take this round tomato, evil cats. Attention! Doctors on call, anesthesiologists and heart patients, attention. This place that you see here is the place, because it is a place. It's made up of sand for the children to walk on and leave their footprints. Take this round tomato, footprints in the sand. In this other place, a man asked for me, but I wasn't there. I was in heaven, and the man was in the ground. Take this round tomato, grounded man. Finally, in this other place, there is a terminal station where someone always dies a month before the first hurricane hits. This makes me sad. If they would die 1 month later, we would see the hurricane and destroy our garden. Attention! Attention! This is the big, big body of the girl. A rotten tomato here, a rotten tomato there. Red, red, like that Caribbean sunset, like a finished night, like the blood that falls from my nose since my childhood, since the map was a little map. Take this rotten tomato, so you put yourself together and don't cry.
Bunch of stacked beds. Nurses with bosoms like lifesavers. A gentleman with a collar made of plaster like a wall around his neck. An old lady skiing with her slippers across the hallways of the Spanish hospital. A soul falling from the body of an injured man like a ripe guava. A girl vomiting a tree. An ivy, a needle, a thermometer. Do you hear me, Catalina? All these things going around you, and I'm here trying to make you listen to me. Do you hear me, Catalina? If you hear me, make a sound like a ship. It's a ship.
It's raining ships.
Yes, but without sailors.
I know how to make a sound like a ship.
How? Interesting. But you sound more like a head.
No, it's a ship.
Okay, let's say it's a ship with feathers.
No, it's a ship.
Fine, fine. It's a ship. It's a ship. It's a ship.
When ships are tired, tired, they fall asleep and dream of beautiful lifesavers, Miranda. When I get a ship, I'm going to have a dog.
You should name him Buñuelo.
Why?
Because if you name him Buñuelo, he will have a soul. House, that is to say in my direction. Some wear neckties, the others military uniforms. I try to intimidate them with my vicious mastiff nose. The first kick bent me in half. The second one threw me 6 feet outside the comeback zone. I dodged the third and the fourth, made my head spin. Since then, someone put the photograph facing down, and all the good people from my town fell off. The stereotypical and slimy sea of that day, Miss Miranda and I, all together, but apart.
Buñuelo is a pure soul.
What's tragic is having to turn into a dog to tell my story.
What is it raining now, Miranda?
Clocks.
All time?
No, they're running late.
I like it when it rains little embroidered handkerchiefs.
That's when grandmothers are knitting clouds.
Miranda, is life fading out? Or am I going blind? Catalina, fly away. You can't fly because you're tied down to your own feet. You are a crybaby who doesn't realize that a ship left you on this shore long ago and no one lives here, much less an island like yourself. Do you hear me? You sickly, bleeding woman, do you hear me? I'm only going to tell you one thing. You'll be forgotten. And you'll be as invisible as water. Where are you from, foreigner? I come from the human country. I come from the kingdom of passing bicycles and flying kites. I'll trade you this country for a coconut ice cream from the store around the corner of my house. I'm drunk and yelling in the exact same spot where 50 years ago a drunken woman from my country was beaten to death because she had a treat in her belly. Go.
Catalina! Catalina, come! I'm going to teach you something that you'll never forget. Suppose some people we don't know come into our house, use your kitchen, your bathroom, invade your bedroom. They say they're doing it to protect you. Years go by and you realize that you have gotten used to living with something wicked, something evil. Then you realize that the past is not always the same. In that moment, you should say, I haven't forgotten what happened. I'm just keeping a secret. We are not a country of sailors. If we were, we will hate mermaids and we will hang harpoons in our cupboards. No, we are a country of sailors who for some strange reason live on an island. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret. What would happen if one day you're walking on the beach and a landmine goes off under your feet?
What would happen is that
No, it's a secret.
The world is becoming disfigured. Blood flows from my nose. How does sorrow flow from me? What is it raining now, Miranda?
Mirrors.
Where are you?
I'm right here by your side.
Is the man still asleep?
It's not a man. It's a woman.
How do you know?
I'm watching her sleep. Do you know what the greatest exile is? It's not leaving a country or a landscape. It's not leaving an anthem or a flag. It's not changing your culture or accent. It's leaving someone behind with their hand in the air as if demanding an explanation that you'll never be able to give them.
Miranda, the light.
What about the light?
There's no light.
Yes, there is.
No.
Let's go to sleep now.
There's no light. There's only chalk.
No matter how much you wave at me, I still can't hear you. The trains are making too much noise. The ships are making too much noise, and so are the ships, the buses, the days.
I'm standing in the exact same spot where a woman from my country tried to write a poem and died without much faith in people.
Don't fall asleep, Catalina.
I can't stay awake.
Did I tell you about my dog buñuelo?
I think
Did
so.
I tell you about my boyfriend?
I think so.
Did I tell you about
You don't have to say anything else.
I still can't hear you. The noise in the distance won't let me hear what you were saying. That moment lost in time when you needed something from me that I can't remember.
The day.
What about the day?
It won't come yet.
Maybe it came and it went and we didn't realize it.
What is it raining now, Miranda?
Death lanterns.
Death lanterns shed a silent light.
Miss Miranda! Yes, Mother Superior. Don't let your friend die. What should I do, Mother Superior? Make little wings with newspaper. But it has to be today's paper and in Spanish.
Miranda,
Yes?
I'm leaving.
Where?
To the night I hunted bats with my father.
Is it far?
Yes.
May I come?
No.
Okay.
It's me. I'm the sleeping man. It's like one of Buñuel's movies.
Yes, but in color. How is it where you live now? Do they have Chinese food? Do they have open balconies where birds take shelter? Do they have utopias where you live now? Did you see Che Guevara? Did you see my mother? Where you live now, when they say a circle of affection, what do they mean exactly? Something that cannot be named, right? It's made up of days like deep water bays, where beauty and misfortune run aground. A bay where we arrive without a purpose, where we won't create anything memorable, where we do good deeds so they welcome us when we arrive and bid us farewell when we leave. And in between the deep and misty waters of friendship, that's what I wanted to tell you the other day when I came to tell you this and told you something else.